Hello and welcome to the Poachers Podcast, your go-to show for all things Boston Town FC. I'm your host, Tom Carter, and like always, I'm joined by Simon Ashbury. Simon, thanks for taking the lead role, of course, last time. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Tom. Yeah, no, it's no problem doing that. Hope you've been in the wars, so I hope you're fit enough to make it all the way through to the end of this podcast.
Hopefully, yeah, I'm currently recovering from a sprained knee on crutches at the moment. But anyway, we have decided to do this monthly for lots of reasons. I'm at uni, could say I'm currently on loan at Golkey United in Huddersfield as well, doing the stadium announcing and also their social media. And I don't know how many people actually know this, but me and Simon don't actually live anywhere near Lincolnshire at the moment either. But anyway, it's going to be once a month, this podcast. And this time, we have got one of the club's most loyal fans over the last few seasons. He's recently set up the supporters group, has organised an in-ground club shop, which I believe is opening next week. And he's also probably seen me in one of my drunkest moments in life so far on that coach back from Long Eaton last season in the FA Cup. It's Paul Miles. Thanks for coming on, mate. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine, and thank you for inviting me to this. It's much appreciated. Thanks guys for this. Yeah,
No
and we
problem.
won't talk about your drunken moment on that bus.
I've had fair few since as well. But,
Oh,
that's
have
a
you? Well,
story
I
for
don't
another
blame you.
That's the student lifestyle for you.
day. So we
We
have
never
plenty.
touch the stuff, do we, Paul?
That's true. That's very true.
So we have plenty of things to talk about in the show, including the players' comings and goings at the club, Paul's time as a football fan, and also the supporters group itself, and then also be a preview at the next few fixtures until the end of November, and also a look at the Fantasy Premier League we set up back in August. And I bet Simon can't wait for that bit. Anyway, let's kick things off talking about the biggest point at the moment, and that is the current form of the Poachers. Of course, as we record this, a few days ago, Boston beat Newark and Sherwood away 1-0 in the dying embers through Matt Cotton. But before, there were three league defeats in a row and then a loss on penalties in the League Cup at Moulton. I would say arguably the worst bit of form Chris Funnell's probably been on, and probably for the club as well, since Martin Bunce's last few games in charge. Of course, it does happen to the best managers and the best clubs. But Paul, you were there a lot more than us. What's it been like up until Tuesday? Have things not just gone our way, or have the
Um,
performances been off?
I think we've become very complacent, if to be honest. Um, and I also, it happens to all football teams. When you are top of the league. Other clubs that you play do tend to raise their game a bit, and I've seen that in the last 3 or 4 games that I've actually seen. The most notable one was the Clay Cross at home match, which was, oh my goodness, that 3-0 up, and then to lose in the dying seconds 4-3. It was a tough pill to take. That one was. And you could actually see the confidence in the Clay Cross players as once they got the goal back and then the second goal. I thought, oh, we're in for a tough ride here, and of course it did happen. And they're full credit to them, and their manager had the belief that they could um beat us on the day, and of course they did. Um, so that was unfortunate, and then we've had a few more defeats since then. Was the one after that Gresley, and then we lost at home to Grantham, which was, disappointing to lose in a local derby. However, I think we deserved the point on in that match. Um, yeah, so it's been a tough couple of games, last couple of games, I must admit. But I was there the other night against Newark and Sherwood. It, the weather was atrocious, and
Yeah.
the pitch at Harrowby wasn't the best, but both teams tried their best to get a result out of it. And just fortunately, dying seconds, Lee Beeson's cross into the box, Matt Cotton to head home, which was unexpected. To be honest, I would have took a point from that one, but 3 points is quite nice to go home with. Yeah,
I think Chris Funnell described it as the pits, didn't he, in his interview he did afterwards
yeah.
with Charlie, the pits of non-league. It was such bad conditions. So yeah, you come away with a win there. That was quite nice, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
well, to
it
be
was
honest, Simon, if the rain had started earlier, I think that match could well have been
yeah,
called off
yeah.
because the pitch was quite boggy at the end of it. But
Yeah, I think he was praising the ground people for getting it in a good enough condition that it did last. As you say, if they wouldn't have probably started how it had been at the end. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I was at the Grantham game, which just followed on soon after that Clay Cross thing, which, like I say, was a real shock.
Mhm.
On the Grantham game, weren't many chances. Grantham very solid at the back. Nathan Stainfield was sort of heading everything away. And, it probably should have been a draw, and they just scored a goal a bit out of the blue. I thought what was interesting with that night was um, you were saying about how other teams kind of raise the game against us these days. Grantham really celebrated at the end as if they'd won the league. It
Yeah.
does feel like this season there's a bit of a target on our backs. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
do
that's
agree with you there, Simon, because when actually, when Grantham scored that wonder strike, their bench was even on the pitch celebrating,
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, I do agree with you there.
I mean, that's the pressure of being one of the teams at the start of the season that people thought might do well, and top of the league and on such a good run. So
I guess that's new for us as well, because even though
mm,
we've probably thought ourselves that we might finish up there, it's the first time, like for a long time, Simon, you'll back me up on this, where the club's actually been predicted to finish top of the league or at least in the playoffs.
yeah, absolutely. I can't really think. Probably would have been back in the sort of almost Gary Paul Goodhand era, probably 2006, seven when we last would have been one of the real fancy teams. So yeah, it brings its own pressure, and that it'll be interesting to see how we respond now because we've got a difficult month coming up, and every club has a blip. It was a bit of a shock to the system to have three defeats in a row. I mean, I wasn't at the Bolton game. I don't know if you went to that, Paul, but
No, I didn't
I,
make that
I
one. No.
I did hear that we actually played pretty well that day,
Mm,
created a lot of chances, and could have been sort of two or three up before they scored. So it's plus. I mean, we have had a lot of injuries and suspensions. Obviously, we missed Tatey and Fordy, and we've had people like Munton and Nuttall out. So I think people are generally coming back to fitness, aren't they? So he
yeah, I
has
think you're
got he
right.
has got a bit of strength and depth now.
Yeah, and yeah, you knocked the nail on the head then. And I still don't think Harry Lim's 100% fit
No,
either.
no,
Since he's come back from injury, don't no disrespect to the lad, but he hasn't sort of given 100% in my eyes. I've just I think he maybe got a fear that he may get injured again quickly, so he's been
holding back a bit, sort
holding
of thing.
back a little bit. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but
I
still
mean,
in a good position. That's what I've got to
Well, yeah,
remember. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, at the start of the season, we'd have all been happy to still be second. Point off. Is it point off Sherwood Colliery?
I think it's a couple of points off, aren't we? Have they got a
What? No,
game in
what?
hand as well, I
Just one
think?
point. Yeah, we're one
Mm.
point behind
What?
them.
Yeah,
Game, and they've got a game in hand.
that's
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
Mm.
I
it'll
mean,
settle down.
Simon, you've seen plenty of decent runs and losses over the years. I mean, is it good sometimes to have a reality check as well, do you think?
I think that is a good point. I mean, it felt to me like we often in the last couple of seasons had little runs of doing well, but then once we did have a defeat, we sort of didn't turn it around quickly. Whereas I think Chris Funnell has managed to turn that into sort of not having sort of run of consecutive defeats or poor results in a row. So I think it is a bit of a shock to the system for everyone, and that hopefully will spur people on. We can only really sit and wait to see how the players react. What would say is he's brought in enough quality and experience to that squad now. You look at people like Matt Cotton, who's obviously his goal scoring this season's been outstanding. Played most of his career at a level above step four, at least. People like Callum Smith will have played step four a fair bit, and also look at Limbo as played at a high level. So there's a lot of people who have got a lot of experience at a high level, and you'd uh, hope they can, respond the right way to some setbacks.
Or have you got anything to add on to that?
I totally agree with what Simon said, and I've said for several seasons now we've got some really good quality players in the club that could play at step four. I'm sure Fordy and Willow would be in a team higher up the league. You know, Travis, not being biased, but Travis is a good goalkeeper. Um, you know, when you look at the whole squad in general, you know, I think they're capable of playing at step four level with probably a few added quality, some more players added to the squad. But yeah, totally agree with that. I think we've got a really decent squad there, but it looks like the competition in the top five, top six this season, it's going to be very interesting as the season progresses. Most definitely. And I think the top six, seven teams that are up there now will be fighting for that top spot from the end of the season.
So we'll move away from the club for a while and then about more you now, Paul.
Okay.
So you've recently set up the supporters club, and we'll come to that later. But
Yeah.
firstly, what I want to know is what were your early days like as a football fan? Did you ever play for any clubs?
Right. Okay. So, um, as you know, I support Aston Villa. Yeah, I think everyone knows I support the Villa. And how that started was it's a strange story, really. My dad's a big Tottenham fan, and he wanted me to support West Ham United. Okay. Of course, the same colours, but when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, which would be the late 70s into the early 80s, Aston Villa had a really good team back then. You probably remember that then, Simon.
Yeah.
You know, the early 80s, they won the European Cup, they won the
Yeah. Yeah.
league, the European Super Cup in 1983. And, you know, players like Gary Shaw and Peter With, Gordon Cowans, you know, Nigel Spink and Jimmy Rimmer, the goalkeepers, you know, I just warmed to, and Brian Little was another one, you know, and I just followed them ever since, Tom. So that was my early days and you know, I got ribbed at school, at secondary school, I must admit, when they weren't performing very well, because all we had was Man United fans in our area or Forest fans back then. But I stuck with them, and I'm quite pleased with how they're doing, to be honest, at the moment. I think we've got a good manager there at the Villa and a good squad, and hopefully top six finish this season for them as well. So that's my story about supporting the Villa. I do go occasionally. I must admit, I go probably once or twice a season. But it is getting costly now, I must admit.
Yeah.
What's it like following two teams who've had decent seasons these past few years?
Oh, I think it's good, Tom. I think you know Boston Town have had some excellent seasons. You know, one end of the spectrum to the other. But being honest with you both, I prefer my grassroots football, and I think more emphasis and more funding should go towards the lower league clubs, in my opinion. You know, when you've got players in the Premiership on 200,000, 300,000 pounds a week, crikey, that will probably keep Boston Town in business for probably 30 years. You know, so you know what I mean. But I do
Yeah.
prefer me grassroots football much more than the Premier League these days.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that. I mean, I also follow Bradford City because that's where I live up here. And this season, you know, I've had the unique situation of both Boston Town and Bradford City both been top of the league, which was like, I was nearly getting vertigo. Really, it's not something you're that familiar with, Tom, are you? Really supporting Man United,
No,
having.
I can't remember that far back, to be fair. When
No.
we were
But
last week.
it is strange. It's interesting you say that, Paul, because it's you know, I suppose you sometimes when you've got a foot in two camps, you know, sometimes like one of your teams, especially probably supporting the Villa, maybe they play at lunchtime, and you know, if they lose, you then have an extra, you know, sort of extra, put an extra store on Boston Town doing well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's the same with me really. That it's nice to see your sort of grassroots club doing well,
Yeah,
most of
well,
all.
yeah, as you know, I still follow Boston United. I think we can mention that on here. You know, I think you followed them as well, Tom, a few years back. I started following them in 1988, home and away, and I just fell out of love with them. I'll be honest with you. You know, they'd moved to the new ground. That's not an excuse. But once COVID came and we weren't able to go to any football matches at all, apart from the extreme lower leagues where Boston Town, I started coming to Boston Town virtually every home match. and of course a few away matches because they had local matches like Sleaford Town, etc., which I visited, and I just sort of fell in love with the club, I must admit, and I was willing to offer any help that I can to the club, and when you look at the club as a whole, the amount of people that volunteer there, it's unbelievable, and I think you can second that, both of you. We've got a lot of volunteers there that put a lot of time and effort into the club to keep it running.
Yeah, it's a
Which is
real kind
really
of
good to see.
family sort of club, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't really had anything to do with Boston United. I've literally only been to the new ground there twice for the two cup finals we've had. And, they're trying to get up from being like a more of a grassroots team to being more of a professional team. I'm not sure any of their players really are local, are they? Or
No,
very,
not
very
really.
few. And I know people that are, you're not the only person I've spoken to, Paul, that sort of said, they've got a bit disillusioned with Boston United. I know you probably know Andy Butler,
Yeah, yeah,
who
very well.
often comes down to town matches. I mean, he basically won't go he goes to away games, Boston United, but he
Yeah.
won't really go to the home games
Mm.
because he doesn't really approve of the new ground. So yeah.
No, I was a bit like that as well, to be fair. I mean, I think I've covered more county cup finals at that new ground than actually seeing competitive games. I mean, I sometimes go like if they're at home, like New Year's Day or Good Friday. I went Good Friday this year against Willstone, and I mean, I'm pleased that they got to the National League. I remember when they were in the playoff final, and I thought I was really happy for them because it was when I was like 14, 15 years old. I just wanted to see Boston United in the National League so much, like get promoted. But like Paul, I mean, I went to Boston Town a lot more during COVID. Went to most home games. That's when I started writing for the website and stuff. And then I got more involved with Lincolnshire Non-League Radio, and I kind of never left after that. It was weird. I mean, as I say, I've got nothing against Boston United. I mean, I probably went through a phase where I had that, but that was only a phase. But I think I was influenced by other people, like the knowing about the past connections with Boston Town and Boston United.
Yeah, yeah, I do tend to agree with you there, Tom. I still follow them. I still see what they're up to. Andy Butler's a good friend of mine, and like you said, he goes to every away match, well, virtually every away match, but he doesn't tend to go to any home games anymore. That might change, who knows? Um, But it's nice to see Andy come down to Tapsell Road, and it's also nice to see quite a few other Boston United supporters come down to Tapsell Road when Boston United are away.
Yeah.
We've got quite a good rapport with them now down near the dugouts, as you've probably seen, Tom. You probably get another 10, 15 on the gate, if not more.
Yeah.
It'd be good to get a few more down,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say that it's we have, and it doesn't help when our home games clash with our home
No.
games. But I think I have seen that the two games home to, which I know we're going to look in more detail at what's coming up, but we've got two big home games coming up in November when Boston United are away, both those. So I'm hoping we can spread the word and get a few down there, a few extra.
Definitely. So moving back on to the team itself now, and there has been some updates to the squad in the last few weeks. I mean, Leighton Madison has returned after a very, very, very brief spell at Skegness Town, and there have been some new signings in Harvey Graves and new goalkeeper James Leverton. And now Travis Portas has been number one at Boston Town for a while, and we were talking before we started recording that we believe he is injured and he's back soon. But so I'm still going to say the script are prepared. So with someone like Leverton coming in, do you think it can help Trav's game even more? I mean, I remember in the days of like Gary Edgley when he was in charge, Trav got injured and he brought a keeper called Ross Woolley in. I think he's a couple of years younger than Travis, but there were two very good keepers. But ultimately, I think it did help Portas as a player. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, we'll start with Paul as you do sponsor Trav, and so we're going to be a little bit biased. And I know you'd have seen Portas and Leverton both in action this season.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's great to have a good. I think it's good to have two keepers within the club that are really, really good players. I've seen Travis play a lot, I've seen James Everton play the last 2 or 3 games. I think he may have played for us last season for a short spell. I'm not sure, or maybe the year before.
Yeah, I
But
think he had one or two
yeah,
games before. Yeah,
but I think it's good to see. I think it will keep Travis on his toes, most definitely. And I think it's great to see that within the club. Jack Sellers was the other keeper that we had at the club, but I believe he's now playing for Holbeach United. Um, but no, I think it's great to see 2 decent keepers at the club, and I think it will benefit us in the long run, most definitely.
Definitely. And it's
yeah,
good about Jack Sellers as well. I mean, he was always a good second keeper to have. I
mm,
mean, he came from I think Bonnie brought him in from Fishtoft, didn't he? And he deserves that chance at Holbeach, really, to be fair, in the football pyramid, starting every game. It's
yeah.
definitely it'll do him the world of good.
It's strange, really, that I mean the position of goalkeeper is strange at any club. A big professional club, you could be sort of like not playing for weeks, months on end, but at least at the top level, if you're a second or third keeper, even you know at the big clubs you're going to get games in the sort of lesser competitions, whatever. Whereas, and you are a professional, you're paid to be there. But I mean, no club at this level is going to have a goalkeeper on the bench traveling around.
Mm.
It's just not fair to ask them to do that. So it is a strange situation that you don't really have a sort of an obvious number two keeper, and that's just the case, isn't it? But yeah, as you say, I think Leverton's got a good experience, good track records, and yeah, I hope it will spur Travis on to even greater heights. He's just done his 250
Mm.
games, and if he can stay a bit longer, he'll go past John McPherson, be the most appearances for any goalkeeper in the club's history, which should be
Yeah, yeah.
something
And
special.
how many appearances did he make for the club,
Only
Simon?
only about 301, 302,
Oh,
so
okay,
he's not
so yeah.
not too far behind.
Well,
Another
let's hope
season
he
or
does
two.
that. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah,
I mean, it feels like Trav's been around forever as well. I mean, he's still quite young as well. He's not like one of the older players in the squad, I believe.
no,
Yeah, I'd
no,
say
absolutely.
Trav. Well, it's just how I know Trav very well is that he went to school with my eldest lad, you see. So, and that's why I
Yeah,
sponsor him because he's good friends with Nathan, my lad, at school. And so Trav, well, Nathan's 28 very soon, so Trav will be 27,
yeah,
28
yeah,
years old. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, 2018-19 it was when Travis first started playing for the club. So
No,
uh,
definitely.
this
And
is the eighth season.
another player I want to talk about, not someone who's come in like in the last few weeks, but earlier in the year, Matthew Cotton. I mean, I can't believe how good he is at the moment. To be fair, I mean, um, of course he didn't play an awful lot towards the end of last season. I don't think because we never really saw him play for Lincoln United that much. We didn't really know what to expect, but he had been travelling, I believe, and he was just coming back to fitness. But this season, he's definitely player of the season so far. I mean, he's scoring in most of the games at least. I mean, question for both of you guys is: do you think that's a position or the sort of player Matt Cotton is a player Boston's been missing the last few years?
Yes,
Uh,
I think so, Tom. Uh, if you can remember a few years ago, we had a midfielder called George Hobbins, and I was really, unhappy to see him leave.
mm,
Of course, he did it for the right reasons for himself, and of course, he was another player that could play a higher level. And I rate Matt Cotton in that sort of same category. He got that bit of skill about him. He can work out where the next pass is going to go or come from. And I do believe with his experience, his skill, his tactical awareness as well on how the games flow. I was watching him the other night at Newark and Sherwood, and he just knew where that ball was going to go every time, and he was on it, and he can read the matches really, really well, and I think he'll be a big boost for hopefully our end of season promotion run.
mm,
Um, I think I just need we just need him to gel a bit with Limbo. I think up front, I feel that they're both sort of in the same area
mm, mm,
when it comes to the forward line. Although
mm,
I think Chris likes to play Harry out on the wing more
mm,
now,
mm,
and Keith Cox in the middle. But no, I think it's a massive positive for the club. Yeah.
mm. Yeah, I mean, I think when you've got all those front players fit, I mean, you just can't fit them on the team, can you? If you've got Cotton, Lim, Bayliss, Munton, and Nuttall all fit,
Yeah.
you can't play all of them. So, I mean, it's an abundance of riches. But I think, as Tom said, really, Cotton, we didn't really sort of know quite what to expect from him. We didn't see it. He didn't make a massive impact when he came in the end of last year. I think just sort of 7 or 8 games. And then, of course, he had that really unfortunate sending off, which, I've seen the video of that, and it did not look like a sending off to me at all. And that meant he missed the playoff semi-final and final. And who knows what would have happened if he'd been fit for those. But yeah, astonishing, really record. 19 goals he scored by bonfire night. I mean, that's more than Harry Lim had last year, and he went on to get 36. So he has really, as you say, Tom, been the sort of player of the year. Even though, I mean, plenty of other players. Fraser's had a fantastic season as well. But yeah, Matt Cotton, what a touch of class he really brings to the team. Yeah, definitely.
We're going to go back to you now, Paul, and
Okay.
the reason you're here today to talk to us is about the new supporters group. Well, it was formed like back end of last season. I mean, first of all, though, what gave you the idea and why did you want to do it?
Right, okay. So to cut a long story short, I was actually in Pets at Home in Boston. I think I was probably getting something from a guinea pig. I'm not sure, but I'll see
It's a
Chappers in
glamorous
there.
start to an anecdote. This, I like it.
Yes, I saw Chris Chapman in there with his son Carter, and we, we were chatting about the club, and I think not long before that, Chris had been he'd been on the board of directors, and I think they were looking at other ways of getting probably more supporters into the club, some more interest. And he said to me, would you fancy starting a supporters group up? And I thought, I'll give it a go, Chris, but I can't promise you anything because, when you've got attendances hovering around the 100 mark, I'm thinking, well, how many supporters would we get signed up for this group? Anyway, I came home and I started doing a bit of research around other clubs at our level and a little bit above, and I came up with a plan for Mick Vines and the rest of the board of directors about creating a supporters group, and Mick was really all for it. And he says, Paul, just do what you want to do. Just let us know what you want. And I said, well, the biggest thing is to try and get more supporters into the club and to get members on board. So then I thought, right, about a free pin badge for adult members, a free drinks water bottle for the younger supporters, because we need to involve them because they're the future of the club. And then I thought to myself about a free, home voucher for a match for the season, a bit of discount at club shop and away travel. And then I just went from there on, Tom, and it just rolled. I got a lot of help from Charlie Fitch on the social media side and creating the badges and creating the logo, etc. So, full credit to Charlie for helping me on that. That was really much appreciated at that time. And then it just went on from there, Tom. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really know how well it would take off. By the end of last season, we probably hit 15, 20 members for this coming season, and now we're at nearly 70 members. 65 adults and 5 under 16s have joined up. We want some more youngsters to join up, would be really, really nice. And that's how it started, really, Tom. So, and I think it's going from strength to strength. A lot of people are interested. I got a lot of really, really positive feedback from the supporters. And I got a lot of, like Martin Hallam and Neil and George Wright that you see, and a few other supporters say, look, if you need any help, then just give us a shout. So it's gone from strength to strength, and to have nearly 70 members for a club that has an average attendance, I think, Simon, of about 100 this season.
Yeah, I think the
Just over
actual average
100.
is about 115, but that's
Yeah,
been boosted by a couple of the bigger crowds. But yeah, it's
quite remarkable.
fantastic. It is. It's really brilliant. It's a brilliant, brilliant initiative, and it is great to see. I mean, it shows that we're small in number, but the fan base is quite loyal. So yeah, it's a tremendous thing you've done there.
Yeah, and I got lots of positive feedback from the last of the summer wine supporters branch. You know, Dave and Richard Cluncorn, etc. Lovely chaps they are.
Yeah,
They've supported, they've played for the club. So, some of them I know Dave has and John Platt did as well.
yeah, they both
But
did. Yeah,
but they've all joined up as members as well,
mm,
so which is really good to see. Yeah,
yeah.
Excellent. And I believe there's a new club shop opening as well, where the old tea bar used to be in the
that's
ground
right.
next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's correct, Tom. So we've got the grand opening next Tuesday. I've been busy last 2 or 3 home games with a paintbrush in there, tidying the place up, and you know, making it look more welcome for supporters to come and have a look at the merchandise we've got. We've used some of the funds from the supporters group to start getting some stock in. I've used some of my own money as well, which I wanted to do, which I wanted to donate to the club to help it get on the right footing. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes, and of course there'll be a lot. So I think you've put it on the website now, Simon. I think it's
Yeah,
across social media.
yeah.
We've got some replica kits. We've got clothing from our kit supplier Pendle. We've got beanie bobble hats. We've got baseball caps, pennants, pens, key rings, even Harry teddy bears. Would you believe? So yeah. So I've got a small amount of stock of everything. I'm going to see how it goes, and of course, the suppliers I've got involved, are willing to send me more if need be, which of course will happen. So yeah, that opens up on Tuesday evening before the match against Harrowby.
Excellent.
That's a fantastic thing again, Paul, because I think I mean it's brilliant the new sort of snack bar thing they've got there, but obviously
Yeah.
that the old little tea bar was, I don't know if anyone had any ideas that was just going to stay empty, but it, it
Well,
it's well, I don't know, maybe there's a story behind that.
well, there is, Simon, because Eddie ribbed me the last time I saw him at the match because he wanted that as his office.
Oh, I see.
And now he said I've taken it as a club shop. So yeah,
Poor old Eddie. I mean, he's not really been much lately, has he? Because he's still not very well. So
that's right.
best
Yeah,
wishes to Eddie.
yeah,
But I mean, it is a fantastic thing to have. And I think, I mean, it's brilliant that people are able to buy the replica shirts and things like beanie hats and sort of tracksuit tops and things from
yeah,
Pendle online. And you do see a lot more people now, don't you, just wearing sort of the club colours and things.
yeah. It's
But
great.
obviously, not everyone's that comfortable with buying stuff online, and so yeah, to actually have stuff there to buy in person is brilliant. And then you've got all these extra little things like mugs and stuff, all sorts of things
Yeah,
there look great. And obviously, the time is perfect because Christmas coming up. People
that's
will be
right,
thinking, oh
Simon.
yeah,
Yeah.
just get
So
like a
yeah, I'm hoping it all goes well. The next couple, 2 or 3 home matches, and I'll be able to order some more in time for Christmas for people to purchase.
yeah,
And I think it will generate a bit more interest as well. Another thing that, and actual fact, Andy Butler came up with this idea. He says, "Why don't you start selling old football programs,
mm,
especially Boston Town ones?" And he says, people just buy them for what they think they're worth, and then just to put the money in a donation tin. And I thought, that's a really good idea because a few people ask about, programs from yesteryear.
yeah.
And then what I thought that's a great idea, and then whatever we make from that will go towards the junior youth teams and the Boston Town ladies team. We've got to involve them as well. So yeah, I think all things looking good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
brilliant.
quite happy with the way things are gone.
And of course, Simon, you've been pretty much a supporter from the start. I mean, you had your own little supporters group at school. I mean, it must be great to see another initiative coming through now in 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. I've not quite from the start, I mean, Dave Creasy you're thinking of there. He's got a few more years on me, but yeah, I mean, we had our own supporters group at school when Bob Dondunker was manager, and he was also our PE teacher at school. That's how we sort of first got properly involved. But fun enough, my uncle Fred was secretary of the original, or treasurer, I think was the original supporters club back in the early 70s. So yeah, there is a history of having supporters clubs and groups over the years, but it's obviously that's fallen by the wayside for a long time. So it's great to get that back, and yeah, if anyone's listening that haven't joined up, then they really should join.
Yeah, well, like I was going to say as well, I'm trying to plug this as much as I can, Simon and
Yeah,
Tom.
yeah,
If you become a Boston Town Supporters Group member, it's £10 for the season,
yeah,
and you get 10% off all club merchandise
yeah.
as well as all the other benefits. So it's well worth looking
It
into.
is a really good
Yeah,
a really good deal actually. Yeah, 10% off. Yeah, go and do your Christmas shopping there, and you'll have made your £10 membership fee
yeah,
back in one
that's
go, won't you?
right.
Will there be any more coach trips coming up? Are you going to take Paul's party bus to Skegness on the 27th of December?
Well, you know, I spoke about this to Mick Vines a little while ago, and I think as the season goes on and we're in the mix, which I believe we will be, I think probably from the new year onwards to the away games, I think there'll be supporters coach to go to the away games with the team like we did last year. Which are quite entertaining away days, I must admit, aren't they, Tom? You should know more about that than me. But
Well, you just make sure you get to the ground, not like Ashby Ivanhoe last year when you whatever they put the wrong sat nav in or something,
oh,
wrong postcode, and
we
ended up
ended
the
up at
wrong
Melton
Ashby.
Mowbray. Yes, that's right. Yes, yeah. But yes, and again, just trying to plug the supporters. That's you get 10% knocked off away travel as well. So it is well
Mm.
worth looking into. But going towards away trips, I'd like to see us do some more early next year.
Mm. Yeah,
Excellent.
It'd be good to see. And it's also what I do like about it. You got the supporters and the team together on the bus,
yeah, yeah.
and you get that family sort of atmosphere. And I think it's really good for the team
Mm.
to see how much the supporters think of the club. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is spot on. We used to go on the coach back when we were kids, when we were teenagers. We used to go on the coach with the players in the 70s. That was really happy memories, you know. I suppose as well, the other thing for the coaches is maybe, it's some of the sort of longer, people might be happy to drive to somewhere like Skegness or Grantham, but it's maybe the ones further away that people don't want to drive themselves, would rather get
Mm.
the coach. So
It's a long
yeah.
way to be fair to, especially with. I know we don't have as many in Leicestershire now, but when
Mm.
you used to have Loughborough and Anstey Nomads, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
quite a long way. It's longer than you
Yeah,
think it is.
yeah. It's not too bad now. Looking down the list, it's not too bad. Sherwood probably the furthest, is it?
Gresley and
Maybe
Ashby, I think.
Gresley. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
And
with
where's Claycross? Is that Chesterfield way, Claycross?
that's Chesterfield as well. Yeah, yeah. Not too bad for me though, coming down the
That's
M1 from
very true.
Yorkshire.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, of course, the new club shop does open against Harrowby next week. One of many games coming up. So, Simon, I'm going to hand over to you to talk us through the next few games until the end of the month. Is there any interesting stats or previous meetings you found coming up?
Well, I mean, it does feel like a really sort of, I mean, it can't be a decisive month, can it already? But it does feel like a big month, November already, especially after that sort of blip we've had. Um, because, okay, we've got Belper away as we're recording this on the Friday, Belper away on the Saturday, and Harrowby at home when the shop opens for the first time. We'd obviously be hoping to try to get wins there, but really the sort of three games that really stand out for me are Sherwood, Colliery at home, the Saturday after the 15th. I mean, that could be that really is a proper sort of 6-pointer. And then we also played Kimberley, who are in the mix as well, 2 weeks after that, the 29th. I think that's the day the 100 Club's been drawn as well. And in the middle of that, you've got the Blackstones away County Cup quarter final, which I know is a sort of less of a priority in the league, but it would be nice to sort of get to another final, wouldn't it? And that's the only cup competition where we're left in. I think the main sort of statistical thing that I noticed at the games coming up is we do have a really good record against Harrowby. I hope I'm not jinxing this, but they've only ever beaten us once at our own ground. That was back in 2003, I think. I think we've scored 5 against them the last 2 games, so we've got a very good record against Harrowby. I hope we're going to be able to celebrate the opening of the club shop with a good win against them next Tuesday as well. But yeah, I mean, the other interesting maybe oddity is that we're obviously going to Belper on Saturday. I know Chris Funnell in his post-match interview with Charlie was saying it'll be such a contrast playing on their artificial pitch compared to the mud patch we had at Harrowby. And then, of course, because they ground share, it's Eastwards ground, we'll be going back again a fortnight after that to the same ground again, which is always a bit of an oddity, isn't it? Going to
It's
the
a
same
tough place
ground.
to go there as well. It's an interesting shaped stadium, like the way it's pretty much raised, and you have to like stand in a certain place to see over the
Yeah,
railings and stuff.
yeah. No, I mean, I'm hoping. I think Chris seemed to be sort of hoping that that sort of ground suits us, and we'll be able to play some proper football on there rather than the sort of the conditions at Harrowby for the Newton Sherwood game were a bit of a leveler really. So, but yeah, I mean it's an exciting few, even because beyond November you've then got we're going to Grantham away just before Christmas, and
Yeah, is
then
that on the
Skeg,
20th,
that's
isn't
on the
it? 20th.
20th, and then
Yeah.
Skeg away
That
uh,
Skegness game's going
on
to
the
be
27th.
interesting, to be fair, with a
Yeah,
lot of former players that
yeah.
went there, didn't they? To Skeg at the
Yeah,
start.
and I think the Grantham away, obviously, I think I mentioned the program when we played Grantham at home. We haven't been in the same league as Grantham Town since 1971. We played them the odd time in the FA Cup and things, but we very, very rarely play Grantham. And going to Grantham, and it's a funny stadium there, is it's not really their old
Mm.
proper ground. It's just like the council-owned South Kesteven Stadium, but they do get big crowds there for our league,
Yeah,
don't they? They
three or
get
four hundred, I
three or
think.
400. So, and they were really, really up for that
Yeah,
before. So that I think that will be quite an occasion as well.
yeah. And for me to add as well, the home matches, especially at Kimberley and Sherwood Colliery. I'm not sure where Boston United are when we've
Yeah,
got them at
yeah,
home, but it would be great to sort of plug it and try and get some more United fans down if of course United are away,
definitely.
because I
Well,
think that does make a big
yeah,
difference.
and I've checked, and they are both away for both those, which is good.
Yeah,
They're at
One of
Woking
those
on the
is Yeovil,
15th,
actually,
and
on
then on the 29th they're at Yeovil away, which
so
surely only the
that
hardcore are going to go there.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely, you're definitely right, Paul. I think it's anyone that follows town, just mention it around to people you work with, and just see if we could just rustle up an extra sort of 10 or a dozen
Yeah.
people for those games. Yeah,
And then, of course,
definitely.
the Grantham away match, 20th of December. That'd be an interesting one, that, just
It
before
will.
Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would imagine there'd be a decent crowd there as
you'd have
well.
thought so. Yeah, a few
yeah.
Santa hats.
Yeah.
The only problem with it, well, not problem, but in the past we've sometimes had what looks like a really exciting game on like the Saturday before Christmas.
Mm.
Like once or twice we had, what I thought would be a team that would bring a big away following with them, and then virtually no one came. And when I said, "Where's all your fans?" They said, "Well, they're all been dragged off Christmas shopping with a wife."
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's very true. Yeah. Mm.
But yeah, Grantham, I think, Grantham Way should be a decent.
And I have noticed the fixtures over, it's very strange over Christmas. So we've got like 3 away games on the trot and then 3 home games on the trot in January.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. It's
Got
no, I
it.
think it's the other. It's 3 away games. Yeah, that's right. 3
Yeah,
away
right.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. 3 away games and 3 home games. Yeah, so it's a bit odd. I guess it is a bit of a nightmare trying to organise the fixtures with teams being in the Vars, and obviously the Harrowby game was originally going to be next Saturday, and that's been moved to the Tuesday, so we
Mm.
could slot the Sherwood Colliery game in because that got postponed because of the Vars commitments. So yeah.
I mean, it's guaranteed at least one of those games in December and January will probably get
Yeah,
called up as well due to weather
exactly. Yeah.
conditions every year, doesn't it?
I
So
mean, if we don't get any games postponed, there's some gaps towards the end of the season. I mean, I think we go from February the 14th. There's no game on either 21st of February or 28th of February. It's 2 blank weeks scheduled, but presumably they will get
well,
filled
we've had
by.
that before, haven't we? But
Yeah,
we've always had postponements or we've been in
yeah,
cup runs and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
We'll have to
exactly.
see what happens. I mean, before we go any further as well, I think we should say give a shout out to former player Cesar Tuntulawan, who scored on live TV last week against Ackridge and Stanley for Gainsborough in the FA Cup. Simon, when was the last time one of our former players scored on TV?
Cesar Tuntuana last weekend. Yeah, that's a good question. Do you know the answer to that then? Is there someone before that?
No, I was asking
No.
you.
It might have been a first, you see. It might have been the first ever time. Yeah, no, he did well, didn't he? Because
I was in we went to the same primary school. He was a year above me, so
right. He
I didn't
I mean, he hadn't played many times for Boston Town,
no.
but he did come on as a sub. I don't know if you remember in that the second one of the Links Senior Trophy finals against Link United, looked really sharp and almost went on a couple of galloping runs and almost broke the deadlock
Yeah,
and
I
won
was
it
there
for us,
that
which would
night.
have been amazing.
You know, he did look very good. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a good player. I think he's a little bit too good for this level. Probably why he didn't play at Boss. I think he was on dual registration with Grantham at the time.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, a good shot window for him anyway to move up a level, maybe.
Definitely. So let's move on to the Fantasy Premier League. Just have a quick look at this. Of course, we set it up in.
Oh, can we end it now then? I think we should end it now, Tom.
We set it up in August for the podcast. Of course, we've had some issues creating the podcast, but we're going to have a look at it now. 10 Premier League match weeks are done. Current leader is Lorenzo Parla, Loz's Legends, his team. He's on top with 669 points. Paul, you're in third place, FC Aston Villa. I'm not sure if you still play it. It's 639 points.
Yeah.
You're on. Poachers FC, that's me, very original. I'm in sixth place with 624 points. And you have to go all the way down to 31st place for Limbo Dancers, managed by our very own Simon Ashby with 500 points. You didn't have a bad week, to be fair, last week, 60 points.
Yeah, I'm not bottom, am I?
Oh.
I mean, as I say, in my defence, I basically don't really follow the Premier League. So what happens is I pick what I think is a decent team at the start of the season. Then after several weeks, I realise that so-and-so that I've had in my team for weeks has been injured. And then I think I had Semenyo, who was scoring loads of points, but then he got injured or something, so I put him on the bench. I've never put him back in the team, and he seems to score every week.
To be fair, you've not got a bad team now.
On paper, it looks quite good, doesn't it? It's just they
they
never score, they never play.
Form, are they? But I mean, you're missing out having Haaland. I mean, I made that mistake last year, not putting Haaland in.
I've had Haaland in from the very start.
Yeah, me too. I mean, he's not always my captain, but I was stubborn last year and said I don't want to put him in. But
I refuse to have Haaland on principle.
That's how you get your points, though.
He's not a proper footballer, is he? Though.
But it's one of them games, Simon. That you've got to really keep on top of it. You've got to check it. You know, 3 or 4 times a week. You got to keep an eye on what players are injured, and you know, there's lots of different ways of looking at it. Of course, we'll be doing them for tonight, for this weekend, won't we? So.
Oh well, I'll probably forget though. What we need is a United Counties League, Fancy League next year, Tom. I think that should be our.
Definitely, that's a very good idea. We'll have to put it across the board at the United Counties League.
Yeah.
Not sure if it'll be the biggest fan of it, but wait and see. I mean, to be fair, we've got a decent number of people in the Fantasy Football League.
It's good.
Premier League. It's good to see, actually. 38.
38, yeah. And I'm 31st. I think you said I was 33rd, so you done me out 2 places there.
But no,
there's 7 people worse than me, although I've no idea who any of them are.
One of them's my flatmate at uni.
Oh, okay.
Who stopped playing it, but yeah, that does bring us to the end of this month's podcast. Of course, we'll be back next month, just before Christmas, probably with another guest. We'll try and bring a player on next time. I think that'd be a good idea. But anyway, Paul, thank you very much for joining.
That's okay, Tom. Can I just plug something else? I do apologise.
Of course, go for it.
We've got the race night happening on the 29th of November. Yes. And I know that all the players have been told they've got to attend, so it'll be quite an interesting evening with players and supporters alike, and other people hopefully coming to it. I think more details of that will be probably on social media or on the website, Simon, in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I was going to mention that actually. I think I've got down first race at 7 o'clock, I know Eddie's been sending me some race cards to get sort of filled in or something. So I'm not sure how these race nights work really, but yeah, it should be a good night. That so that'll be after the Kimberley
quite
game.
an interesting evening. I think there's going to be a decent raffle there as well. So what I might do with the supporters group shop is probably donate a couple of items to it.
Yeah,
Very
good.
Yeah, which should be good. And I think the Christmas raffle, I'm not sure whether anyone's mentioned I know it's not that far away, is it? But the Christmas raffle, I believe, is being drawn on the 13th of December. We're at home that day, Simon, I believe, are we?
13th December. Yeah, we should be, shouldn't we? Yeah, that's the DP Rangers at home. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Christmas raffle's going to be drawn after that. That's what I've been told anyway. So,
what's the prize?
I'm not 100% sure, Tom. We'll probably have that on the next podcast.
Okay.
But I know that Mick's been, he says, Paul, you need to sell these amount of tickets. I said, I'll try my best, Mick. Okay. But no, I know that last year I think I had some decent cash prizes with that and some decent raffle prizes as well. So it'd be good, be interesting to see.
Nice one. Of
it
course,
could be a free match day ticket to Golka United, maybe.
Well, at Golka, if you win the raffle there, you get breakfast free. So you win a free breakfast somewhere.
All right.
I still don't know where you get it from, but yeah, as I said, that does bring us to the end of this week's podcast. I will also say that I believe it's the 15th of every month. You've got to get your money to Richard Cruncorn for the 100 Club draw. I believe that's right, Simon, isn't it?
Ideally, yeah. I mean, obviously, the date of the draw varies a bit. That's going to be the same night, I think, the 29th. So it's not quite as urgent this month because you've got a little bit more leeway with it being later in the month. But yeah, 15th ideally. I mean, you can set up a standing order, which is what I do, and then it.
I mean, I've entered it 5 years and I've never won a penny. So.
Haven't you really?
Nope, never.
You need to.
I remember you used to win loads on the belts, Paul, didn't you? You're about 5 every season, I think.
Yeah. A couple of months ago, I won the top prize, Tom.
Yeah. I mean, I've never won a single penny. I mean, Simon's won it once, I think, haven't you?
I think I got 50. I think I got 50 once. Yeah, that's all. But
I mean, the only thing I've won there was £26 on the 50-50 draw in the FA Cup this season. It is what it is. Fingers crossed for next time. We'll announce it. See if Tom's won in the next podcast. Won't get good. So
it's a good incentive. It's good for the club, isn't it, Simon, as a whole?
It is. Club. It's a really good idea, and it goes well. I think Rich has done a great job with it.
He has,
taking over from Nat. So yeah, it's been great to have you on, Paul. Anyway, really good talking to you. Thanks ever so much for your time.
Yeah,
best of luck for the shop as well opening next week.
Well, I think it'll be fine, Tom. I'm quite looking forward to it. I'm not even sure whether Mick wants me on the turnstile that night, but I'm going to have to tell him no. I need to be in the shop. So. But we'll wait and see what happens. Let's hope. Let's hope for a decent crowd there Tuesday night against Harrowby, and especially the following Saturday at home.
Yeah.
In that big promotion race game. So good.
And also, Simon, thank you very much for joining me again this evening. Any final thoughts?
Pleasure. Only that, nice to see you back. I hope your ankle, your knee. It's your knee you've done, isn't it? It gets better soon. And we look forward to the next. It seems that things are moving so fast, isn't it? Another month's time, we do another podcast. Who knows where we'll be?
It'll be nearly Christmas. It's scary. It'll be nearly Christmas.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Exciting though. It's exciting to be near the top end of the table.
It is.
You'll have to get Callum Smith on, Tom, with his guitar.
I've heard of that.
Oh, yeah. We didn't really mention the song, did we? But yeah.
No.
The song could be mentioned next time, definitely.
Definitely. We could play it out.
2 out of the 3 of us have contributed to this track so far. Just you that's not done, Tom.
I used to play the piano.
Well, there you are then. Better get on to Dave Holmes.
Anyway, thank you both for joining me, and we'll be back in around early December after what is a big few weeks for Boston Town. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.